Okay, I'm going to combine chapters 25 and 26. Chapter 25 deals with how did my parents pick my name. Uh, Not much to say there. Like I say, I've said it all in the one page in chapter 25. When I asked my mom, she didn't even know there was any reason why they named me what they did, so there's not much to tell there. A couple of other thoughts that I had, though, in that same chapter, even though not a lot to tell. Uh, I mentioned I was glad they didn't call me or name me Theodore, because you get knocked down and take your lunch money every day then. But everybody's just called me by my name except one of my coaches, Darwin Pitchford in Montpelier. He was the basketball coach. Um, he watched me play when I was growing up and so forth, and he was my coach when I was a freshman and sophomore at Montpelier High School. But he always called me Teddy for some reason. I don't know why that was, but that's what he called me, and that's fine, I guess. But no one else has ever called me that before, and but Darwin Pitchford did. One other little incident here. This happened just a week ago, dealing with my name. As you know, I serve in the temple every Wednesday and enjoy that so much. It's a great privilege to do that. One of the great honors of my life is to be able to serve in that capacity. But I went a week ago yesterday into the temple, and don't want to elongate this out, but the wife of the shift coordinator saw me walking in, and her eyes got big and wide, and she ran up to me and said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. Why?" And she says, "Are you sure you're okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." She says, "Well, you've been released. We thought you had died." They were looking for me in the obituary, literally in the obituary, to see what happened to me or whatever, because my name had been taken off of those who serve in the temple for some reason. I said, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine." So we went in, and to make a long story short, there was a clerical error by one of the secretaries in the office there. Another gentleman on Friday's shift, his name was Dean Larson, asked to be released, and so he was released, but one of the secretaries got a little over anxious or whatever and saw my name, so they blotted me out of the book of life as well. And so when I walked in on Wednesday, I was not a temple worker. Been removed. So we went in to visit with the shift coordinator in the temple presidency, President Harris, and they went into the office and found out what had happened, and they had to go through the entire process again of calling my bishop and going through the paperwork and the stake presidency, and get recommendations and so forth. And they finally got that accomplished. Took about a half a day, about 1 o'clock. So the first half of the day on Wednesday, I was a patron. I went, did a session. That's fine. I was not baptized, but I was confirmed for others who were baptized. And so at about 1 o'clock or 1:30 in the afternoon, President Harris had completed all of the processes and got all the paperwork done. And so about 1:30, he set me apart again as a temple worker, and I served in the afternoon as my normal shift would be. And of course, we went again yesterday, so everything's fine. But the man who was removed was named Dean Larson. My name is Ted Dean Larson, so that my name led to the problems that in the temple there, being removed from being a temple worker. At any rate, so that's neither here. That's chapter 25. Chapter 26 deals with parenting, and as I said, I'm no authority on parenting by any stretch of the imagination, but had a couple of thoughts in addition to what was mentioned in the book. I think one of the keys to parenting would be to create warm, positive, lasting memories with your family as you move along and they're raised and so forth. and we've tried to do that, Vicki and I. My parents had not much money at all, but we did take a trip or two. We went to San Francisco, we went to Seattle, we went to Los Angeles, and Yellowstone, and so, some of these places, and created some great memories. And I think one of the reasons these two books that I've written have been rather easy to write is when the questions were asked, it brought me back to those positive memories that were created by my parents as we did things together as a family and so forth. And it was so fun to relive those things and be able to write them down and share them with the rest of the family. So I think that's an important part of parenting is to create those positive memories. And so Vicki and I haven't had any money either in our lifetime, much at all, but we have tried to create some memories and some positive not feedback, but positive experiences for the kids as they've grown up, and taking trips is a part of that. You can have fun around the house working, and every Saturday I know they had a bee where they would work on their jobs in the house, and they'd have music going and so forth. And so I think the kids, even though they weren't thrilled about doing all these jobs around the house and cleaning and picking up and vacuuming and all that stuff, I think it has created a positive thing. And Vicki was primarily responsible for that one. We went to Salt Lake City several times. We've gone to Yellowstone, and the kids enjoyed that one. And of course, we've gone to Disneyland and the San Diego Zoo, and down in California, the ocean. Great place to visit the ocean. The kids kind of like that. We lived in St. Louis for a couple of years, and every time anybody would come to St. Louis to visit us, we had to go to Nauvoo, of course, to the visitor center and go through Nauvoo. So we became very conversant with Nauvoo, and the kids have enjoyed that. Of course, there's no spirit anywhere in the world like there is in Nauvoo. There's a spirit there that doesn't reside anywhere else. And of course, Carthage, where the prophet was martyred, we visited that one several times. We went to Hannibal, Missouri, where Tom Sawyer and went through the caves, and Injun Joe and all of those things and so forth. The Mississippi River, the river boats and so forth. I remember one time, at least once, we found out that there was a U-Pick, an apple orchard where you could just go over and pick some apples, and we thought we would do that on our way to Nauvoo. So we loaded up the van and drove, and I know we went on a ferry boat across, I'm sure it was the Mississippi River, and we went over to this orchard and picked apples. And that's one that I remember. I think the kids will remember that one. Family reunions. We've been to family reunions several times. Every other year we try to provide an experience for everyone who can come to get together and renew acquaintances and love for one another. And of course, as our family has grown with now 20 grandkids and the marriages of all of the kids, that has been, I think, a real positive thing as well, those reunions. Gone to Liberty Jail in Far West and Jackson County and all of those areas as we lived back there. Adirondack, went to the St. Louis Arch and the Jefferson Memorial, not the one in Washington, D.C., but commemorating the Louisiana Purchase underneath the St. Louis Arch is there. We tried to make Christmas a real positive memory over the years. One of my favorite holidays, in fact, it's my favorite, is Christmas, and I think Vicki shares that. And so we've tried to make traditions and do things at Christmas time that will create some positive memories, including the night before Christmas with the nativity scenes and the bed sheets and the towels and the lambs and the manger and all of that sort of thing. And then the big sandwich has kind of been a fun tradition for us as we've instituted that one over the years. I think the most big sandwich we ever purchased was 12 feet. That's when the kids were grown and they had the spouses and maybe some of the grandchildren, but and they were all right here, so we had to get 12 feet, and we ate it pretty quickly, as I recall. You got to have a little something for the next day or two if you want to enjoy that, rather than just on Christmas Eve. So Christmas traditions, we try to have Santa Claus come more than he should, of course, and that's a positive thing as well. I think I mentioned before that we got locked out of our house on one Christmas. It was on a Sunday. We went to church and didn't want anybody breaking in and taking everything that Santa brought. So we locked up the house and didn't take the key with us. And the trials that we had getting in and the frustration that the kids were feeling because we didn't open up Santa Claus till after church. So I think we talked about that a little earlier. So one other thing, all of my kids and most of my grandkids, I don't know about all of them, but most of them are BYU fans, having made a few junkets down to Provo for the games, and even homecoming. I think the kids, we tried to make a tradition to go to homecoming quite regularly. We'd leave at 3 or 4 in the morning so we can get down there by 8, because the homecoming parade started, I think, originally about 8 o'clock in the morning. 9th and 9th was our viewing spot. That was tradition. We went there every year and enjoyed the parade and the lawyers with their briefcases and the drill team. The kids will remember this, I'm sure. The band, of course, was great. The blue pancakes that they served up for homecoming. We'd go to the spectacular the night before, and of course the ball game on Saturday was the highlight for me, and I don't know about the kids, but at any rate, we tried to make that a tradition. One other thought occurs to me even now. We left about 3:30 or so on one day, Saturday morning, getting for homecoming. Dot was with us. We loaded up the van. Everybody was sleeping back in the back because it was about 3:30 in the morning. It was full of clothes and luggage and all that stuff. We pulled out of our neighborhood, and the police stopped me. The police stopped us. Lights behind us and so on. They thought maybe with all of the stuff in the back that I was a burglar or something and burglarized some stuff and was taking it out. It's not normal to see, 3:30 in the morning, all this stuff going out of a neighborhood. And that was great. I appreciated them stopping me. If my home was burglarized and they had a bunch of stuff that belonged to me, I'd want them stopped and apprehended and punished for, so I appreciated the police for doing that. But that was kind of an interesting one to get stopped a block or two from your house thinking you were a burglar. So we tried to create some of those memories, and I think that's an important part of parenting. So, all right, thanks very much. Have a great day. By the way, this completes the first book. This is the chapter 26 is the last chapter in the first book. So we got one more book to go, and we'll continue on with this and see if we can complete this in a timely way. So have a great day.